ladies and gentlemen. We are live with Anna Seewald. Super excited for you to hear her talk today. We actually had a lot of people telling us they were thrilled to hear what she had to say because Anna's talk title is How to Stop Yelling. This is a popular topic. Anna, welcome.
Hi, how are you? Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And Anna, you actually are the founder of Authentic Parenting. You're a speaker, author, and a parent educator. Tell us a little bit more about what you do on a day-to-day basis to support families.
Yes, I am a parent educator. I'm a psychologist and educator, and I worked with many years, over 18 years with children. So I have that background, but 9 years when I became a parent, I realized that it's parents who need help and support and knowledge, and we don't want to parent like our parents. So I, dedicated my work, my private practice to helping parents. So day-to-day basis, I work with parents from all walks of life. And I work with criminals, drug addicts, just regular people like me and you. Well, they are regular people too, but from all walks of life. So I see a large spectrum of people because I also teach court-ordered parenting classes. So what I notice is, yes, our challenges and issues are the same. Our stories are different. We come from different backgrounds. And everybody loves their parent. It doesn't matter who the person is. I have never, ever met a single parent who doesn't love their children. However, love is not enough to be a great parent or good enough parent, right? And today's talk is, yes, it's popular because everybody wants to know how to stop yelling. And let me begin by saying, yes, it's a catchy title, but the goal shouldn't be how stop yelling completely, because we can't. That's an unattainable thing. How to yell less. That would be a better title.
Okay.
Or how to become more mindful or calmer. I think that would be even more because it's more positive. So anyways, that's in a nutshell what I do. And
fantastic. And before we actually begin, I do want to announce that you also have a podcast, don't you?
I do have a weekly podcast that is geared towards parents and caregivers. It's not the how-to parenting podcast. It's self-development, because when we become parents, our past creeps in, and trauma, adversity, emotions, triggers, and all of that. So my podcast is geared towards helping parents to understand themselves better, to develop more deeper awareness about themselves.
Fantastic.
Overcome those things and be a better person and a parent.
Excellent. So as you begin the talk, I will go ahead and put a link to your podcast in the comments below. I'm a huge fan of podcasts. I'm not always, at the end of the night, I don't always want to read my nonfiction parenting books. So I do listen to a lot of podcasts. So I will put a link to yours below. And let's go ahead and begin. Let's talk about why do we yell?
Okay, so just before I got on the call with you, I was scrolling through Facebook just to kill a few minutes of the time, and somebody posted, it's so fortuitous, right? She said, I yell at my kids when I feel unheard, not sure how to stop this habit. So the question is this, and I would love for every listener, every viewer to answer this for themselves too. And of course, I can give some explanation why we yell, but I want really people to think about why they yell, like to really reflect and write down, maybe journal about it. Why do you think you yell? Yelling is part of our human development. We yell because when we're threatened, we yell, we scream. And funny enough, we know from research, for example, how yelling, when people hear yelling, it's different from people hearing people talk. The way sound gets interpreted in your brain is different when you hear a yell. When you hear a sound like talk, the way we're talking now, the sound goes through your ear into some pathways, into the auditory processing center, and your brain says, okay, that's a female voice, pleasant, give some meaning and interpretation. Yelling, however, goes from your ear to your amygdala right away, which is your fear center.
Oh.
So, and it's also important to know that we yell because we want to, we want to get attention. It's like a survival mechanism, right? But oftentimes we yell at our children, and that's what we want to do less of.
So we're creating fear. That's basically what's happening. When we're yelling, we're creating instant fear. And if we're yelling because we want them to hear us, we are actually not helping the situation.
No, we are not. And I can talk for an hour how yelling affects children, but I won't go there today because I want to share some tools with listeners and viewers who can apply and get some positive change in their day-to-day life.
We can all probably agree that yelling for children is not healthy, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
not
okay.
healthy.
So tell us what we can do to stop. I like this.
Well, the main reason I want to talk about a little bit why we yell part a little bit, because what I observe in my private practice is that many parents are stressed out. They're overwhelmed. They are running on empty. And it's not just a phrase, but biologically, I see a lot of chronic stressed out people out there. And the first tool I would love for people to take away from this conversation is, because stress is part of our day-to-day life, we're so accustomed to be stressed out, we forgot how it feels to feel calm. And I have drawn something I want to demonstrate to the viewers. I'm not such an artsy person, but imagine this is your stress dial, right? Stress is part of day-to-day life, and normal stress is good for us. We need that. We need like a stress hormone, cortisol. We get that during the morning just to jolt and get into action and do things in our life. However, when stress becomes too much, too toxic, and when we get used to that, that's when we have no internal resources. We start to yell and we have no resources or energy to cope with upcoming stressors. So imagine this is your stress dial. This green zone is your normal stress. Then you go into the orange zone, then you go into the red zone, which is exhaustion, burnout, and we all know how it feels. However, with modern life, we have so many stressors that come at us. We are constantly living in the red or orange zone, and most of us don't even know how green zone feels anymore. That's our normal. We're constantly on hyper alert all the time, and we can talk about where those stressors are coming at us. And what I see in my private practice is parents bring their children, and their children are stressed out as well. That's why they don't sit still. They can't pay attention. They can't learn because they're in that survival mode. And to demonstrate, I have a balloon, and I would love to blow this balloon.
I'm loving all of the demonstrations. If you are if you're a visual learner, this is the best interview for you. This is fantastic.
I am oversimplifying this for parents because I think we need the visuals to understand. Imagine you have a stress container, and it's every individual has their own capacity for stress. And we can talk about why is that so, but let's don't go there. What I can tolerate is different what you can tolerate, right? However, we need to be